Back we are at the Stadium East complex, getting ready for kickoff between Chapelton Maroons FC, the new boys to this level, and the Tivoli Gardens, the five-time champions. In the games played already, Dun Beholden getting their first win of the campaign, 1-0 at the expense of the other new boys, Falkland FC. Then we just saw Molynes United beat Humberland in a 5-goal battle, 3-2, and Cavalier, the 2021 champions, beating Vere United 3-0, and Mobay United. Wow, Mobay United, Donovan Duki already, the effect taking its toll on Mobay. Well, the effect already in play at Mobay United, 1-0 over the two-time champions Waterhouse. Leaving us with the two games, Tivoli Gardens, Chapelton Maroons FC, Harbourview, Mount Pleasant, and then Arnett Gardens and Portmore on Monday to complete match week 2 in this JPL 3. And based on how the goals have been flying in, we are in for another treat this afternoon. So there are the players. Chapelton Maroons FC from Clarendon, first time ever at this level. And based on how they played in their first game, no signs of vertigo at these dizzy heights. And they're coached by a man who has won the Premier League with 3 different teams, has won all the schoolboy titles that he's contested for, the Costa Cup, Olivier Shield, and has the most outstanding record of any local football coach in Jamaica. And they'll be needing all his experience to guide them past a 5-time champion Tivoli team, 4-time second. But Tivoli have been some way off their awesome best in recent seasons. And you sense it's a long road back for the team in the green shorts, the orange stockings, and the green and white jerseys. Chapelton in the maroon and white. And as is customary with the JPL, the second game of a doubleheader is started with the playing of the national anthem. Tivoli Gardens, for those watching from afar, they're the same club that produced Ricardo Wiley Boo Fuller, who went on to play in the English Premier League with distinction for Stoke City and Portsmouth. Over 140 Premier League appearances for Fuller, and he scored 19 goals. And Tivoli is the club that gave life to his career after his days as a schoolboy at Camperdown.
Is he currently on the Stoke coaching staff, I think?
Yes, he got through on an FA-sponsored program to fast-track coaches of minority into coaching positions. And I wish him all the best. A bright man, a nice guy, Ricardo Fuller is. And let's hope that the youngsters can benefit from his football knowledge and that he can grow to go further than coaching at the youth level.
Beautiful condition. Reason why you're here, for some good football, alright? Referees, we're here only to officiate. Let officiating for the referees stays with the referees, alright? You in charge of your team, lead your team, organize it. Same thing, alright? At the end of the day, get a better team. Home team, we have your yellow, we have blue. Ball in the air. Blue. Yellow it is, second to the ball and ball. Beside the shots. So you stand with the cross and you stand this side. Alright, enjoy all the best. Big up, general.
Referee Chris Mason and his team going through the pre-match niceties and the necessities. So this is the Tivoli Gardens starting 11. Nicholas Clark in goal, Barrington Price, the skipper, Keno Simpson, Odine Pennycook, Kevin Garnett, Kevin Pilgrim, Trevon McCain, Justin Dunn, Diego McKenzie, Anthony Nelson, and Janelle Ray, the head coach, Jermaine Teddy Johnson.
Yeah, and they're playing this 4-4-2 formation, and for sure they drew the first game and definitely will be looking to see if they can get some goals from this one with the two strikers up front, Mackenzie and Ray.
For the Chapelton Maroons FC, Javel Plunkett in goal, the keeper. Javel Ellis, Ronaldo Christian, Tremaine Williamson, Jamari Morrison, Osani Ricketts, Jamari Howell, Rushy Parchment, Marlon Pennycook, Raheen Brown, and Alex Gale for the coach Lenworth. They call him the teacher, Hyde.
Yeah, losing their first game, but for sure you can look for the stamp of Lenworth Hyde on this team. You definitely will be looking to play with a lot of possession and breaking through the lines, and that's something that we come to expect from Hyde. He wants to win, but he wants to win looking good. So we expect good football from this new team.
But for the Costa Cup game played yesterday, where Racees were beaten 5-0 by Clarendon College, several of those Clarendon College schoolboys would have been in this Chapelton FC team, this squad. But of course, they're only boys, they're only saplings. So to play them on Saturday in one competition and then come into the top flight on Sunday, a no-no. So they've given this game a wide berth. Chris Mason, highly rated, competent referee. Let's see how he gets on with these boys out here. The lights are beginning to come on here at the I almost said Tony Smalley Sports Complex, but that's like before. There you go. It's a Stadium East Field. And here we go. We're off. And immediately, Chapelton going from back to front with the Route 1 approach.
Assistant coach Vincent says she was bracing herself for a physical battle against Tivoli because they're accustomed to doing so, expecting pace and trickery as well. It's wanting to know about something that the team does. It's a whole different matter to stop it.
Shot from distance, and the goalkeeper Plunkett needed 2 attempts to bring it under control. Crunching challenge. More than enough KC ex-CC schoolboys on show here for Chapelton Maroons as we see the shot. First effort by the man wearing number 30 for Tivoli, Janelle Ray. And there's Jermaine Teddy Johnson, Sheffield Wednesday cult hero in the English leagues. Played there with distinction for several years. Good solid career in England that man had.
Yeah, certainly, and he's here to impart a lot, and players like that I often say when they choose to speak, you should choose to listen. That's what his Tivoli Gardens team will want to do today. Listen to his instruction and carry it out to perfection. Felt that first attempt from Ray. Just Teddy Johnson, they're just telling him a lot more composure required. Pennycook has had a steady campaign for the last 2 seasons in the Premier League. Rarely loses duels.
Yeah, was been one of the best defenders in the JPL. Tivoli on the attack. Anthony Nelson, did he keep it in? Yes, he did. The cross comes in. Not the best header. The header caused more problems for the defense. And the Maroons on the back foot early from the Tivoli pressure. Lovely feet on that far side from the man wearing number 26, Jamari Morrison. He took it into touch. Tivoli had one outstanding player a couple seasons ago. His name Trayvon Reed, who went to inspire Harbourview to the Premier League title last season. He was there on loan and he's made the switch permanent. Tivoli don't have that kind of talent this time, but they'll be hoping to make do with what they have.
Yeah, and
well, they have to.
They have to. But that's something they have to look at too. It's a young player. You don't want your young players to be moving on. You want to provide the right atmosphere for them to blossom. I guess they will have their sides of the story as well. Reed has been said to have been enjoying life at Harbourview.
Why not? free kick for the foul from Ronaldo Christian, as we take a look at the teacher, Lenny Hyde. Outstanding footballer for Boys Town, Premier League champion.
Some argue that he was one of the best, well, some would not say one-off because that would just regularize him. Some say arguably the best defensive schoolboy football
Well,
level.
yeah, there are many people who say he's the best schoolboy
Yes.
footballer Jamaica has ever produced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I stopped to not say one-off because that's put him in a big pool. Yeah, I guess you rightfully say that he has been the best.
His teams, even his business house teams, they play a brand of football very, very good to watch. It's never about the result for him, it's about the performance. He wants teams to put on a show for spectators, and he wants them to put on a show for those in the TV audience who take the time to watch them.
And
I like coaches like that.
I agree with him, and I've always said I come up with a philosophy with my team, and I said you have to enjoy yourself on the field, but the fans in the stands need to enjoy themselves as well. But when you have to build up, I guess, I think when he started out, he had the luxury because maybe coaches weren't rotated as much as they are now, and results are required almost immediately in coaching these days. So coaches sometimes, under the cosh, they want to get the results first. But I think once you get the result and you convince persons that then you can settle into as well your philosophy, your style. I'm one that likes the passing game. I admire his style and Coach Neville Bell as well.
And you say that to say that you're not that you're disrespecting what the likes of the Dookies of this world do, because they have a different philosophy.
Yes.
But that in itself is an art, because defending is an art.
It is an art, and for me right now, I couldn't argue against it because my schoolboy football team remains the only team in schoolboy football so far without conceding a goal.
There you go.
So I understand.
Let me pat you on the back so that you don't have to do it yourself. All right, there you go.
I was waiting for that, George, because you, as Stinger said, you've given me a few uppercuts in commentary today, so...
There you go.
But no, it's an art for sure. Jose Marina says a well-organized defense is as beautiful as a well-crafted attack.
Here they come, Tivoli. This is a wicked cross whipped across. And yeah, I meant to say that the wicked cross whipped across, but Kevin Pilgrim couldn't get on the end of it. The cross coming in from the man wearing number 29, Keno Simpson, from his station at right back. At left back, rather. Crossed it with the right foot, showing his versatility. Don't think Chapelton have been, well, there was a long ball to start the game, but otherwise they haven't been they haven't carried the ball beyond the half line. Tivoli have dominated every inch of this contest so far.
Yeah, the press and the counter press from Tivoli has been good. I think when I check it, for the most part, when they lose the ball, Tivoli, they regain it within 3 passes, which makes it a very effective counter press. But definitely under the cosh. And you feel Tivoli will want to make this count. They don't want to just be dominating the game. Because as long as that is the case, you suspect quality is in this Maroons team to be able to cause them problems.
Simpson once again on the run. Just clips it back. Not really a cross per se, as a pass. Trying to fool the defense. They're trying to come out of, oh, there go forward. Chapelton Maroons on the break, but Odin Pennycook is fast, faster than most strikers in the Premier League, and he made up the ground very, very quickly, Pennycook, and snuffed out the danger, was fouled in the end.
Yeah, we're talking about good defensive work here. That was expertly done. He had a few yards to catch up, maybe about 5 yards behind, and yes, he just turned on the afterburners and got himself between the man and the ball, which shows that he's not only about pace, but intelligence.
Here's Simpson, dancing, trying to get rid of the defender. The block comes in, it's a corner. Chapelton remain under pressure. As we say, Odin Pennycook jet healed, and that's why it was remarkable, because the ex-Arnett Gardens man Ronaldo Cephas left him for dead when they clashed last season. He was no match for him, and that's when we knew that, yeah, this Cephas lad is real speed.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly a miss, but he's in a good place.
Yep, playing well, playing weakly.
And scoring goals.
And scoring goals. Here they come once again. Barrington Price this time asked to sprint, and he does enough. Nicholas Clark, his goalkeeper, helping him out.
I guess the pattern of the game is evolving as we see it here in the opening 9 minutes here. Maybe not necessarily how it was intended, but it's good when you have players on the park who can adapt to what is taking place out there. Tivoli with the high press, which trying to box in this Chapelton Maroons team, and I guess they've decided, you know what, we'll just try to be organized, but we'll hit them on the counter, and we've seen twice there. Once it was Pennycook and then Price who snuffed out the danger, but it's there and they have to be mindful, Tivoli.
Clark across to Price. Price goes long. Nelson couldn't keep it in. As we look at the Tivoli bench once again. And you see Edsel Robbie Scott, former outstanding goalkeeper for them. So into the 10th minute here of this second game. And no real scare for either goalkeeper, but the Chapelton defenders have been the ones working hardest. Pennycook back to Clark. Chapelton, for those outside Jamaica, situated in Clarendon. It's the old capital of Clarendon. Chapelton itself, one of the old towns. As we see Tivoli breaking forward. Justin Dunn. Forward. Pass doesn't come from Mackenzie, but the width comes now. And Pilgrim's cross couldn't find a teammate. Chapelton clear their lines for the moment. Here's Rohane Brown. Got there, but it's a Tivoli throw.
Yeah, I think Pilgrim couldn't effect that cross because it was a little bit behind him. Almost have to scoop it from behind.
Dunn, balancing the defender, dribbles away from Christian, but runs into traffic. Would have been better served going outside where the space was, but he went in the direction that the Chapelton defenders wanted because there were bodies there waiting for him.
Yeah, they set the trap. He went into traffic. It was good cover from the Chapelton defense. Had pressure and cover.
Nelson whips the cross in. It's met by the tall man Williamson. Strike on goal. Oh, it's blocked. And very, very lucky. Trevon McCain winding it up. And but for the skipper, Ronaldo Christian, that could have been 1-0.
Yeah, certainly. You just said that the goalkeepers had nothing to do. Still didn't have anything to do, but still there was a threat on goal. And the defender standing tall.
Not quite sure what Alex Gale was trying to do, but miscommunication between him and his striker.
Yeah, just creating that extra space, putting it on his left foot.
Here's Rushy Parchment, the ex-Clarendon College forward. Very good feet. But he loses out to Pennycook, who has very good speed. Asani Ricketts, the ex-Portmore man, the Premier League champion. Back to his goalkeeper.
And that duel again we saw from Pennycook winning that duel. As I said, he doesn't lose many duels.
Pilgrim inside to Garnett. This is done. Wrong pass because the option was being given to him to pass it outside, but he passed it into the traffic again. Done again. Still done. Offside. That's the call against the man wearing number 30.
Yeah, I just think that extra step over from Dunn is what led his teammate to drift offside. Have to play that one quicker because they're running at the defense, who is not backing off necessarily. And so, on a straight run, then you're straight offside. Just needed to release a little bit quicker.
You never see Lenny Hyde get up off the bench and berate his players. And he's not doing that now either, as they win this goal kick. So, 13 plus minutes.
I would say it's easier when you have won everything like he has.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to back myself
Yeah,
on
yes,
this
sir.
touchline.
Yes, you are, because we know how you are, right? We know how you are. Simpson.
I'll soon mellow out like him.
Yeah, but when you, as you say, when you have the trophies, you can chill.
Yes.
This is Anthony Nelson for Tivoli. All the way back to his skipper. This game could do with an injection of tempo, especially from Tivoli, who've been hogging possession, and perhaps that's what Teddy Johnson is telling his team as he just came off his bench to issue some instructions. Parchment with nowhere to go goes back to Ricketts. Brown. Ball breaks to Diego McKenzie. Can't find the connecting pass there. Gale now for Chapelton. Can't find Brown. Clark didn't really have to do that. Could have allowed it to bounce again and catch.
I guess he was recognizing for the first time in a long while the Chapelton Maroon had committed some players going forward, and so maybe just wanted to see if he can get them back.
Yeah, so Tivoli with 56% of the ball, and that's why I'm saying that they're the ones who can set the tempo with this game. And they're using two captains. Chapelton Maroons FC. For a while I was wondering if my eyes were playing tricks. So Ronaldo Christian and Javel Ellis are wearing captain's armbands.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's the captain and the vice captain, because I see that at schoolboy football level as well.
Is it that important though to have two of them wearing the armbands?
For the younger boys, I can imagine, I can understand, because it means a lot to them. But yeah, surprise at this level.
Brown wide to Howell. Back to Gale. Gale's pass is poor. Gives away possession. Nelson for Tivoli. Garnett. Wide to Simpson. They're appealing for offside, the Chapelton defense, but Simpson works it on his right foot. Still Simpson. Still Simpson! Oh, he finds the back of the net! Keno Simpson was invited to cut in by the Chapelton defenders, who just wants him cut. Then he let fly. Did take a deflection, but 1-0 Tivoli Gardens.
Yeah, that's a lovely, lovely footwork before letting fly. Yeah, you feel the goalkeeper should have done better. I'm not on goalkeepers today, not making a hard time for them, but I think my initial, the initial look at it seems as if it went under the goalkeeper, but he was allowed to come inside. And maybe just the deflection you talk about, George. Let's see here. This is a better angle to see it from. Just as he let fly here, no, I think might have been unsighted by the players in front of him. But you still felt that he should have done better.
Yeah, our goal microphone is so clean that I heard a touch, which is what I interpreted to be a deflection, but it was actually him getting hands on it.
Yes.
But his hands not strong enough, or not in the right place at the right time, his hands late. And the Simpsons strike wasn't aided by the deflection. It was a very good strike. But oh, how the Chapelton defenders stood off and allowed him to cut, and then strike. I'm sure Hyde will have something to say about the quality of the defending.
Yeah, there was no one applying pressure to him, just shepherding him inside. And somebody needed to step up. Maybe they were saying, let him shoot from that distance. But when you have bodies behind the ball, you need to...
Pilgrim under pressure. And he turns it behind for a corner as Raheem Brown turned up that pressure. And the Chapelton get a corner. So their first corner comes after they've fallen behind. It's almost as if they've been woken up by a slap.
Yeah, certainly it was poor, because with that, maybe there needed to have been a communication from behind to tell someone step up.
Yep.
And that didn't come, so...
Yeah, in trying to say stoked up, I said walked. Well, we can make a word, right? Why not? We can. But yes, certainly, they've been stoked up by going behind. And here they come with Raheem Brown with this corner kick to the near post. Nobody there. So why did you put it there? Nobody knows. Parchment. Getting the better of Dunn, but runs into Pilgrim. Pilgrim turns it out for a throw to Chapelton Maroons FC.
Yeah, Hyde will be livid with that goal because as a coach you look at that and you think that's avoidable. It's not like you were outnumbered and you had, they didn't have numbers up, so you could and should have applied pressure.
Yeah, and to support you on that point, it's not as if Sims had an overlap run
That was going to take a
that you were
defender.
watching to
Exactly.
see, okay, is he going to lay the ball off? We all knew he was going to cut in, and they
shoot.
allowed him to cut, and then shoot. But guess what? I'm not unhappy for the goal. Games need goals, and I'm very happy for that. Here's Keno Simpson once again. Ambidextrous puts in the cross with the left foot, not so good this time. This is Gale for Chappleton, having to wait on his midfielders to join him, and Rohan Brown is offside.
Yeah, it's a very thin line there, and he was offside, but it's something that Chappleton can build on because you want to play off the shoulder, possibly of Price, who is not of the same pace as Pennycook.
Pilgrim, the overlap. Done with the left-footed strike.
Concern here for Chappleton because George, they have numbers behind the ball, but just not picking up their mark or leaving their mark correctly. And there's an art in leaving your mark, because if you do leave your mark to apply pressure, you must shadow that pass to the mark you just left.
It's asking a lot of Christian, who gives away a throw. They can't be happy on the Chappleton bench with what they've seen, what they've been seeing so far. Can't be.
Yeah, Vincent, there she is, the assistant coach for Chappleton, not pleased, feeling that they need to switch to the other side, recognizing that maybe a lot of attacks come this side from Tivoli, but they've scored from the side Simpson is on. It's down their left side. She said she expected the physicality I did mention to her about the pace and trickery.
His cross is good. It falls into an area where there was no Tivoli man. And it's a throw to Chappleton.
But she did remind me of the physicality, but I think of more concern to her now is the pace and the movement of this Tivoli Gardens team and the ease with which they're cutting through the lines.
Yeah, but we saw Simpson go down that flank a couple times and checking off his left foot onto the right and cross the ball. So it's not as if he didn't advertise that danger. So they know he can strike it with the right. So it's not as if someone cuts in on their weaker foot and you know they're not going to kick. So you back off and you wait.
Certainly was not in tune as you are, George, and it needed to be.
Here they come through Janine Ray Tivoli. Waiting on the overlap. Dunn comes and it's a poor pass by Janine Ray, who was saying the movement wasn't right. He's berating Nelson and company for not giving him the options that he wanted.
But in fairness to Mackenzie was saying, okay, I'm in traffic here, I'm keeping...
he was trying to stay on side, Mackenzie.
Yes, and he's keeping two defenders, the attention of two defenders, and he was saying to him, the overlap is coming, just wait. It did arrive, but his pass wasn't good. And I think he knew, he probably was looking for that overlapping pass, and the pass didn't come off, but I think he was just trying to find an excuse.
Well, Dunn took so long to arrive on the overlap, I was going to call him a taxi.
Not an on-time one.
Yeah, because Janine Ray was really waiting a long time for that option to come, because the forward passes weren't on.
Yeah, it was late, but it did arrive.
Here they come through Nelson Tivoli. Nelson cuts inside, this time crowded out, has to turn back. Garnett to Justin Dunn. Curls it to the back post, the header! They found the goal again! Tivoli Gardens have struck twice in the opening 23 minutes. And it's that man, Diego Mackenzie, with the header. And the new boys from Chappleton are on a hiding already in this contest.
Well, we saw in the first game a lot of quality deliveries into the box. That one is up there, right up there with any we've seen today. Lovely shape on it, and that was pinpoint perfect, right on the head of the finisher here, Mackenzie. Lovely ball into the box, good shape on it, and the keeper thought about coming but was left in no man's land just on the top of the 6-yard box. Such was the quality of the cross that it pulled him out of position, and in the end a perfect finish for a lovely cross.
Two quality passes in that sequence, because Kevin Garnett's pass out of midfield to find Justin Dunn in that position on the right was a very good pass. Dunn needed 2 touches to settle the ball. That's Garnett. He started it with a lovely switch of play out to Dunn on the right. Needed 2 touches done to settle it, and then his cross was gorgeous. Just a thing of beauty, rendering the defenders irrelevant, rendering them non-entities, as it just landed in the perfect place on Diego Mackenzie's forehead. And he had the simple task of choosing which part of the goal to plant that header out of reach of the goalkeeper, Javel Plunkett.
And the goal was unattended to because of the quality of the cross. Mackenzie he came, and for a moment he felt it was there for him to take. And by the time he realized.
Here they come on the break, Chapperton. Runs into traffic, i.e. Barrington Price, who
is a big traffic.
Yeah, tells him to get up. The man wearing number 10, Marlon Pennycook. So we have dueling Pennycooks. Odin, the defender for Tivoli, Marlon, the attacker for Chapperton. Here's Raheem Brown. Can't find Gale. The pass was on, you know.
Yes, definitely.
That pass was on. They can't afford to make moments like those slip by the boys from Clarendon.
Yeah. When you get a chance like that to really put Tivoli under pressure and possibly hurt them, you've got to get that right. And Vincent, they're just settling down more into the seat.
Could be a long night for Lenny Hyde and company. 2-0 already.
And both goals coming from wide areas.
Yep.
And that's a concern for them. A lot of times people say, well, you know, the danger area is down the middle. It's not like basketball where you just go down the park and you score a lot of goals. In football, you go wide to come back inside. You pull people apart. And you have to learn to defend the wide areas as good as you're defending the center of the pitch.
Yeah, well, Lenny Hyde will say, and if he feels finding fault, especially with the second goal, he says, well, Justin Dunn, before he crossed it, where was the pressure on him?
Exactly.
And then how could one cross take out 2 of my defenders and my goalkeeper, 3 of you in the box defending, and the ball, you didn't even put yourself in position to lay a foot on it. Difficult to accept that, but it was a cross of beauty, and it really, really, really was there only for the forward to attack Diego Mackenzie.
You don't give good players that amount of time and space that Dunn got to put that ball in the box. And the quality of the Chapperton Maroons pass in the final third just lacking. A while ago, just now, the pass should have gone to the half space, and the player was looking to play more to the player, not recognizing if it was played to the half space, both Pennycook and Price would have been cut out of the play, and it would have favored the attacker.
Parchment off his thigh. Not what he intended. Was going for a chest trap. It's a Tivoli throw. You know,
in fairness, that was Brown.
Yeah, I said Parchment and Raheem Brown. The thing is, I want the Chapperton project to work, because it's a good thing when so many young players are being given their chance at the top flight, especially after they got the team here. The club could have gone out and tried to recruit a lot of seasoned players, but it didn't. As we see this run from Trevon McCain. Justin Dunn dribbles inside, stabs it wide. Nelson's first touch wasn't the best. The referee's calling it back for a free kick. He's going to flash a yellow card to Osani Ricketts for the foul on McCain.
I think the reason behind it is the area of the pitch where that one was committed. Felt it was promising for Tivoli, and he stopped that.
This is what happened. So McCain gets. So it's the wrong man who's booked then, unless Ricketts said something. So yeah, because he was taken out by Javel Ellis, not Ricketts, but Ricketts was booked, and I'm sure it's something he said. Maybe he's saying, well, why did you call the play back for a free kick after they lost the ball so long? after the infringement had been committed. That's not advantage. And the referee is saying, well, are you telling me how to ref the game?
Well, he did warn the captain at the beginning of the game that leave the refereeing to me
Yes.
and take care of your team. So he's following through suit on his opening comments as to how he wants this game to progress and whose responsibilities it is to officiate.
So Diego McKenzie registering his second goal from as many games. Did score an opening day against Vere United. Tivoli coming from behind in that one to snatch a draw. Here's Justin Dunn. Bends this one in. Headed away by Christian. And miscommunication between the Tivoli forwards there. Between Price and Nelson. They go long. Raheem Brown chasing it down. Pilgrim. Barrier between his keeper and the onrushing forward, not called into action.
I think what Chapelton Maroon will have to do to get back into this game, firstly they have to have a platform on which to build, and you feel they have to be better defensively, tracking the runners of Tivoli. Tivoli come forward with a lot of runners. You have to stay concentrated because players are getting into the box without being tracked. It's not like they're outnumbering the Chapelton Maroon players in their defensive third. They have numbers there.
Poor giveaway, poor pass from the goalkeeper, poor attempt to trap by Gale. Here they come. McKenzie trying to lay down for Dunn. Oh, it's a brilliant save by the keeper this time though. Got in front of the ball with his feet, his legs, turning it away for a corner. Blistering strike by Dunn. After a bad connection between keeper and midfielder, turned ball over McCain. Look at this layoff for Dunn and a good save.
And on that replay, you saw where Dunn was free. There was no tracking of it, and we're just talking about them better tracking the runners. It's an art. Stay connected, stay concentrated. Because when you allow a runner to go on to a defender who already had a player, then you leave him to make a decision. Do I stick or do I go? And by the time he decides on that, the play is happening so quick in front of him, the ball could be in the back of the net.
Man who scored the opening goal, Keena Simpson, down for the moment for Tivoli. Pointing to maybe the left knee. Or it's actually the ankle. So let's see what we've got in terms of goal. This is Keena Simpson, allowed to cut in all the way. And the goalkeeper got there, but didn't get there. Crept beneath his body. And then this switch by Garnett. Look at Dunn. 2 touches to settle. 3rd touch is the curler. And Diego McKenzie's header out of the reach of the goalkeeper. Beautiful goal that. 2-0.
Yeah, 2 lovely goals, and just at that point that those goals were replayed. A fan out there watching on a Sportsmax. Dane Clark from Granville in Trelawney was saying that he's enjoying the commentary and he's enjoying the game because there's a lot of goals, George.
Yeah, we're happy. We're very happy. Just saw Christopher Mason outside of the shot. Have a few words with Teddy Johnson, the Tivoli coach. No surprise, because he was one who gave referees hell on the pitch, and he's living up to that, even in these days as a coach. I know that Dwight also gives referees a lot of aggro. As we see Osana Ricketts clearing his lines there. Here Tivoli come again through McCain. Stronger than Ellis. This is McCain. Can he find the pass? Ricketts got there first. Didn't block. Ooh, he blocks down. Sliding block by Osana Ricketts to keep out that shot from Anthony Nelson. And now Parchment breaks away for Chapelton, looking for options. Only play that into the path of Big Barrington Price, the Tivoli captain. Ellis. And Dunn taking evasive action even before colliding with Christian, because he saw the big unit bearing down on the ball for Chapelton to clear it.
Big unit couldn't change his mind. He just went through because he was really prepared for some form of duel there.
Some form of contact, bracing for contact.
But again, we saw that shot that was blocked, George. Again, the runner
not tracked.
Exactly. It's just too simple here.
Ellis combining with Christian. Christian lucky to get it back into the midfield.
And in all fairness to Chapter Maroon, George, as you said it earlier, a lot of their players who brought them here too were also playing in the schoolboy football competition.
Yeah.
Good quality players that would certainly make an impact here. So yeah, a bit depleted, you'd feel.
Ball played forward by Christian, but neither Parchment nor Morrison were sure whose ball it was, so neither
Went.
went. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. And Vincent did lament in her pre-game interview that she did manage to register some new players this week. So maybe not up to speed yet with the style of play.
Well, the thing is this though, in this league, you know, it's long, it's 26 rounds preliminary, but it's a punishing league. If you don't get off to a good start, then confidence starts to wane, and then it's just bad result after bad result. The league has a way of doing that to teams.
Yeah.
So you need to be fighting early.
You're so right about that, George. And you probably don't get to mount a comeback.
If you get down in the hole, hard to get out of it. McCain under pressure, but he does well. This is Price.
And unlike the previous 2 seasons, we have relegation
Oh
this
yes,
season.
and that's the point I'm making. So there's no parachute, no feather bed to fall on when you fall. If you fall in this league this season, you're gonna hit the concrete, you're gonna splatter. Ball played through, and he's offside. Breaking through there, Jamari Morrison. Flagged by the assistant on the far side.
And that's another good heart there from Tivoli. They've executed it quite well. The offside trap, they've held a good line. Price and Pennycook really communicating well, stepping up at the right time.
Pilgrim. Christian. Physically stronger than Dunn. Physically stronger than most players on the field. The captain for Chapperton, and referee Morrison gets his frame in the Mason gets his frame in the way, and he exchanges words with the Chapperton skipper. This is the replay.
Too close to the action, eh?
Yep. Switch to Parchment. Does he have the speed to get there? No, he doesn't. Brown tracking back and does well defensively. That will please coaching staff. Has not been in the game as an attacking force at all, the young man, the ex-Clarendon College man. And must regroup collectively, Chapperton. Dunn to McCain. Lovely by McCain. Lovely change of direction. And Dunn's touch was poor. They win it back though, Tivoli. Chapperton gave it back to them. McCain. Inside to Nelson. Wider still. Offside. Against Janine Ray.
I guess he was standing there just waiting.
Standing there too long.
Yeah, watching the play. And if he was connected in it, then he would have seen that he could have just taken a step back, because there was enough passes before it got to him.
Trying to remember how many seasons ago, was it 2 seasons ago, that Rohane Brown scored that magnificent goal at Stets? The ball played long and he took it in the air on the side of the foot, and before it fell, the volley. Oh my, that's probably the best schoolboy football goal I've ever seen, and I've seen a million special ones, but that really took the breath away. It may have been 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, I think it was, George. But you don't see those goals come in very often.
I just saw him do something. He ran to get the ball and it didn't come to him, and he was throwing a tantrum. That won't help him. And he's only young, he'll learn, but yeah, that negative energy is not good for the teammates. It's not good for you. You need to stay keyed in and you need to wait.
Yeah, I think as they mature, they get better at it. But when they're young, they get frustrated because they don't recognize that when you're playing even as a lone striker, you're a point player, you don't get as much of the ball as they would like. And sometimes they drop deep, they want to go wide, just to get a touch of the football, but they're not judged by the amount of touch they've had. It's about the situation where they score a much goal.
My producer is saying it was in the 2021-22 season, which would be last season.
I think it was because of the COVID, and then it went over.
Yeah.
In the two separate
into
years.
January, finished in January.
So that's why it felt like it was
so long ago.
So long ago.
There you
I think
go.
you and I were on call at that time.
No, I didn't do that game. I saw that you were on call.
I was on
you
call.
were. I think you may have been Donald.
Yeah.
Oh well, Ricardo Chambers who gave it the treatment. You were the color man that day. I was watching it on TV. It was splendiferous though.
He have to just stay patient, and he'll get those at this level if he stays patient.
The thing is though, when the reason I don't like strikers doing that is because so you lose your patience if the ball doesn't come, and yet the ball will come and you'll waste the chance. So what should the midfielder say to you in that moment when you waste the chance?
And I've had an exact moment this season with my main striker Mark Lewis, who's been frustrated sometimes, and he's learning it, but it comes with experience and seeing those opportunities.
Justin Dunn picked the wrong pass. He was trying to find Diego McKenzie, but Pilgrim was to his right in acres of space and calling him for the ball, but he didn't spot him. Here they come again, Tivoli. So easy for them to play through the Chapelton lines, and I'm being kind by calling these lines, or maybe they are just lines and nothing more, but it's so easy for Tivoli to go through the various sectors and to get at the Chapelton back line.
Yeah, I think Tivoli is doing well with a lot of rotation, a lot of runners from deep. And because the Chapelton players are not tracking them, then it causes a lot of problems. They do have numbers back, Chapelton, when they get into their low block. But like you said, they're just lines, so they're not moving.
Here's Ellis bursting forward. Can't get around Pilgrim though. Low center of gravity, Pilgrim. And just robbed Ellis as he attempted to burst forward. Meanwhile, man down for Tivoli. And the medic is being called for. Looks like Janelle Ray, as we see Pilgrim here followed by Parchment. So if you're a teacher, Hyde, and you sit this team down in the dressing room, the first thing you'll say is what? The Chapelton.
It's just too easy, as you just mentioned, for Tivoli to get at us, and we have to be better in defense. We could take heart from the fact that early in the game we saw that when we were doing a little tracking, we were being compact, we had few opportunities to hit them on the break. Yes, it was marginal with the offside when we got the ball up front, and in one occasion Pennycook recovered well to stop an attack. So if we have a good structure, organization to build on, then we can get something from this game. And so it's not going to be a case where we're going to be constantly at them.
Here's Raheem Brown bursting forward. Look at Keena Simpson running back at him and doing his day job. Keena Simpson doing it very well. Moonshining as a forward, and he got a goal from that. And here they come, Tivoli. Cut out though by the tall beanpole figure of Tremaine Williamson. And here they come, Chapelton. Christian forward to Parchment. Hasn't beaten Pilgrim once in this first half, Parchment. Always a worrying sign when your winger can't get beyond his fullback.
Yeah, because every time you would back your winger 1v1 against a fullback, that's what you want for him. And if he's not getting it, then it's going to be problematic for you, because that's the means by which you were anticipating or expecting that you would get in behind.
And the thing is, Pilgrim, it's not as if Pilgrim has had help. It's Pilgrim 1v1 versus 1v1, Parchment, yeah. And he's won the ball from him every time. That man.
Maybe what can be adjusted for Chapelton Maroon then is to try and get a overload in that area to try and give Pilgrim something to think about, or an assistant to Parchment, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah, I was going to say that to you. I've never seen the fullback overlap Parchment.
Exactly.
And my producer remarking that Parchment is carrying a bit of condition. He was like that
Exactly.
at high school and he was deadly. But the point
we-
being that this is a higher level, so
Exactly.
any shortcomings would be exposed. But yeah,
But he needs help, and maybe, as you
And
rightly
that's
say,
it.
that overlap or that overload, and a run from inside out from a midfielder could work.
look at that Pilgrim getting there with Parchment. Quick. And the sliding tackle helping him there.
Yeah, I guess he heard the producer and wanted to show that he still is mobile enough
Yep.
to effect a challenge.
Pennycook to Dunn to McCain. McCain has sauntered through this first half, has done as he pleases. Finds Simpson now. Forward to Nelson. Williamson sticks out a long leg, almost like dulls him from the Street Fighter game, and he gets the ball away. Fouls this man this time though. Aggressive in trying to win the ball, Williamson, and goes through the back of Nelson and telling the referee, ref, that's no foul. It's no free kick. Mason checking in on Anthony Nelson, who says he has a problem. Dominic sent for. So 40, we're in the 45th minute. We'll see soon how much time the fourth official will add from the referee's instruction. And this is it, yeah, the knee in the back. Producer says only a minute to add on. You said something just now, Dwight, that if you were Lenny Hyde, when the Chapperton boys go to the dressing room, you'll say you have to defend better. But my question is the obvious question, how? How do we defend better? What do we do differently to defend better? What does better represent?
What I was saying on it, when I expounded on it, is that you have numbers back, so it's not like you're outnumbered, but the players are not tracking, they're not applying pressure in the wide areas, so you have to get your players to recognize the defensive work, whether they're delaying, they're deflecting, or they're denying, and also in terms of the defensive transition. When we lose the ball, what do we do next in that phase of the game? We're not picking up our marks, we're not surveying enough, and we're not losing our marks well enough.
Hear you on that, solid. Youngsters watch this broadcast and they want to know what the coach means when he says better, so that was for them.
And I'm happy you give me that opportunity.
There you go. It's been easy for Tivoli though. Trevon McCain, Justin Dunn, Pilgrim, all of those guys have been winning their individual duels too easy. Header, this time by Ricketts, and it's a corner. When you're not winning duels collectively as a team and then you're losing duels as individuals, that's when you know you have serious problems, and that's been the story for Chapperton Maroons FC in this first half.
Yeah, on some occasion they're not even there to create a duel.
Cross comes in, headed clear as far as Simpson! Very good skill, trapping the ball with the inside of the boot, then on the volley with the laces. Not missing by much.
I tell you what, very good skill, because a lot of players probably would have to try and shift it with the onrushing defenders. And you could see there, just didn't get it right. Yes, the defenders hurried him a little bit, and that's good work. But still, did well to even execute it.
Lovely skill by Dunn to beat Brown. And here they come. Mackenzie into the box, but Christian has the bigger frame, stronger man. And he shields it out into touch.
But it has been a good look for Tivoli. Yes, it's a lot of it is down to a lack of defensive work, good defensive work from Chapperton, but you can only play what is in front of you, and if they really executed well, Tivoli. But in all fairness to them, they came out with a game plan to try and press from high and put on the pressure from pretty early.
A lack of progression from Chapperton, passing the ball out of midfield and dribbling. There's nobody who's carrying the ball forward with any menace, and there's nobody who's passing the ball forward with any purpose. And they'll say, well, how can we pass the ball forward with purpose when we're not getting the runs? And I'd say, well, too many excuses. Well, guess what? They have a chance to talk it over at halftime, because Christopher Mason has seen enough of the first half. That man in your shot, Keena Simpson, cut in from left back and drilled one with the right foot in for 1-0, and then that man Diego Mackenzie, a beautiful header from a lovely spot, a bit of play from Tivoli Gardens, and that's how they lead this contest 2-0. Chapperton Maroons FC, the new boys to this level of football in Jamaica, swimming against the tide, and they're swimming with an injured leg. Back with more after these.